We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power that make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to episode 54 of Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube. I am your host, Bison. Today I'm joined by Mr. Daily Giggle himself, the Joe-ker. And of course, the man we simply call Steve. Hello, fellas. How are we doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. It's glad to hear. It's glad to see everybody. Obviously, we had a hell of a weekend.
Yes.
We're bound for glory. We know that obviously the tapings have taken place. So lots of interesting stuff to be talking about. You may notice we've not got a special guest this week. No, that's because we wanted to really focus and get stuck into Bang for Glory because it was a hell of a show. But we've got so much stuff to talk about. I also know that Mr. Joe-ker himself has got a few issues that he wants to express. So I'm looking forward to hearing all of that later on today. But I'll tell you what, it's worth getting into a couple of impacted news and rumours to begin with. Now, one thing that came out of the tapings yesterday, obviously this is completely spoiler-free, nothing to do with spoilers whatsoever, but there was a racial slur used at the Impact tapings towards Moose during some in-ring promo. This is not acceptable.
No.
This day and age, this is not acceptable. And I really hope that they find out who that was and they kick them out and ban them from any Impact Wrestling shows for the rest of their life.
Yes.
Done. Get rid of them. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts?
I wish if they do find him, I hope they bring him into the ring. Get him to see if he say it face to face, staring up at Moose.
Can you imagine?
See if he say it after taking the bloody spear.
Yeah. Have one of those, sunshine. Have some of that. What about you, Steve?
Yeah,
we've all encountered it, haven't we, in our lives?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's like what Moose is sort of doing. It's going to get heat, and this is not the way to go about kind of going. Showing your frustration.
Exactly.
So yeah,
It's just not acceptable. You just don't use that kind of language. It's just not acceptable.
No.
There's so many other things. I mean, come on, they could have called him whatever they liked.
Yeah.
But they went for the racial slur. It's just not. It's just. It's
sad. It's sad that we live in a day and age where that is people's first go-to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just shocking behavior. Anyway, not acceptable. Ban the man for life, or whoever it was. Just ban them for life. That kind of individual is not required an impact as an Impact fan.
No.
As far as I'm concerned. There you go. Can I just say a quick hello to Courtney? We've got Courtney. Nice to see you. Paul's in the house, so lovely to see Paul Nelson in the house as well. Anna, or shall I say Violet, lovely to see you, sweetheart. Lovely. And of course, we've also got SWA. I forgot what that one is. SW Swack. Is it Swack fan or something? I don't know. Nice to see you in the house again as well, buddy. Nice one. So it's great to see everybody in the house today joining us for today's show. Like I said, we've got one hell of a banger of a pay-per-view to discuss. And of course, if you've all seen the matches that we've got lined up for us tomorrow, wow, there's some serious stuff coming forward and to look forward to, that's for sure. Now, the other thing was, you literally hours before Bang for Glory was the announcement that Tenille would be replaced by Madison Rayne in the DMC Championship match. Now, there was no reason given. I don't particularly want to speculate on that, but I mean, there could be hundreds of reasons.
Mhm.
But I mean, obviously, this day and age with the whole COVID situation, was there a possibility that before she flew tested and they said no, not today, lovely. I don't know. So there's lots and lots of reasons why Tennille couldn't have been there. In all fairness, it made BFG better for me, but either way, she wasn't there. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Anything?
It was a bit of a downer for me. I was hoping that instead of putting Madison Rain in, they put Alicia Edwards in the match. That's the only negative thing I have to say about the whole thing. It was a bit unfair to put the person at Chelsea Green in rather than put Alicia Edwards back in. That's the only thing I can say, to be fairness, but it took nothing away from the match. And if anything, I said to Steve, and I found out that Madison Rain wasn't in there, that Madison Rain was put in, it actually probably add a bit more to the match in general.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly, I guess the reason they couldn't put Alicia in was because she was booked for the gauntlet match, I guess.
Yeah. It makes
Maybe
sense.
that's why. Yeah. A quick hello to Terence. Sorry, Terence, I missed you out, my friend, and you were probably the first person in, I think.
Yeah.
So great to see you with us, and thanks for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, so. And then also, obviously, you could say that probably the sort of kind of like the biggest news is that we didn't get Adam Scherr, we didn't get Buddy Matthews. Neither, like you say, appeared at BFG as speculated. There was also, I believe, some rumours that we might have seen Bronson Reed as well. I can't remember what name he's going by, but so there was certainly some rumours that we could have seen some fairly big names, but we didn't. So I have to say that it didn't ruin anything for me, because I'm always of the opinion if these guys turn up and they want to work for Impact Wrestling, then great. Yeah. Okay, Sammy. Yeah, nice.
It ain't no secret. I need a job.
Exactly. Sammy needs a job by the sound of it.
He's got his squeaky snake.
He's all right. He's got his snake. He's good.
It sounds really dodgy listening to it over a mic.
I know. So for me, all it really did was kind of make it more special, because it wasn't, the Impact roster, the current Impact roster, you could say, wasn't overshadowed by having people, some big names suddenly pop up, and then that's all everybody talks about, kind of thing. So that's what it did for me, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the roster did a great job. So, that's my thoughts on that. What about you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I do like the fact that the Impact roster got the focus here. However, it's one of those things where Impact, I do feel, had a lot of people outside the company that did buy for the surprise, and kind of they didn't get the surprise. So yes, they got to see a lot of the Impact roster, but if you have a lot of fans that didn't get any of the surprise, then you think, did they deliver what a lot of people were expecting to see? So I think they kind of should have had at least one, so that the fans who weren't Impact fans still got a little something of what they were maybe expecting.
But you see, I think that Violet's made it clear at the end of the day, it wasn't Impact that announced any of these things. It was, I know that Scott made a Brawn for Glory thing a month or so ago. But other than that, they've not officially announced, Buddy Matthews or Adam Scherr, or they hadn't officially announced that these people were going to be at Bound for Glory. It was the dirt sheets that were getting carried away.
Yeah. And you've had those kind of hints, but you feel I wouldn't be dropping hints like that unless you were very, very sort of, near enough certain something is going to happen, because it puts a lot of emphasis on, that happening.
Okay.
I would have bought it anyway, and I was fully satisfied with it. But you do get a lot of maybe AEW, New Japan stars, maybe even WWE stars thinking, "Oh, this wrestler could show up," and it doesn't happen, and they think, "Well, I've wasted my money because that's the only reason I bought it."
Well, maybe, but then, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a wrestling fan, then you should have enjoyed the wrestling that was on display because it was a damn good show.
Oh yeah, and like I say, if I was an AEW fan or if I was an Impact fan and I thought, oh, I don't know, say AJ Styles, he won't obviously because he's contracted to WWE, he was going to show up at AEW, and he didn't. And I watched the rest of the show. I thought, well, I still got my money's worth because it was a decent show. But not every wrestling fan is like that.
No, that's true. That's true. But all I've got to say is, at the end of the day, it wasn't Impact Wrestling who effectively, they made an announcement. They told us that we were going to get the influence, and we did.
Mm.
So whatever they told us, they did. And that's the fact. So. That they didn't. It was the dirt sheets that kind of like got everybody going. They were, we're going to see this person, we're going to see that person, etc. So kudos to Impact because if there is an intention to bring any of these guys in, they're going to do it on their own terms. It's not necessarily going to be when the dirt sheet says it's going to be. Who knows? I mean, it's not like they're not going to come. We don't know that they're not going to come in. We just know that they didn't come in at Bound for Glory. That's all we know. It's that. I think that's sort of kind of where we're at with it. And I think if anybody comes in, then great. And if they don't, I'm not bothered because I know we've got a great roster and I enjoy it anyway.
Yeah.
So. I think, and the fourth thing was, and we're going to talk about that because they literally just announced it just before we came on air today, was that Rocky Romero challenged Trey Miguel for the X Division title, and then they've announced it to be to air tomorrow night on Impact. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh baby!
I love that. I love that one. I absolutely love that one. Hello, Rob's voice. Nice to see you, my friend. So there's not, other than that, there's not really much sort of kind of like news and rumors things to talk about, to be fair. So let's just get cracking into Countdown to Glory, the pre-show. Now, on this, we had the Awesome Kong was inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame by Gail Kim. I thought that both of them made great speeches. Gail introducing her friend and as the next obviously inductee to the Hall of Fame. That some of the stories were lovely, and then Awesome Kong come out and she was just great, wasn't she? I think the crowd responded really, really well too. What did you think on the Awesome Kong inductions, Joe?
I thought it was lovely. It was she was taken aback at how that Gail Kim had basically covered everything she wanted to say, so she was really thrown off of her feet for the entire speech. But it was really, really nice, and the way it played out at the end, when she's coming up to give everyone a hug, everyone's reaction to it was brilliant. Especially Rosemary, she's ducking out the way rather than wanting to get her. Yeah, it was really, really nice. It was well deserved. Yeah,
it was good. What about you, Steve? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought watching this was I would put it up there with the Abyss Hall of Fame induction. I thought that this was fantastic. It really was. So many emotions going through everyone, really. I thought the speech from everyone was really good. And that final moment of all the knockouts coming out really took it up a notch. From the past and the current, really, everything here I thought was absolutely fantastic.
Good. I liked it as well. I thought it was really lovely, and for me, it's probably one of the best sort of kind of like inductions that they've done. Really, I mean, obviously last year we had The Rock, inducting the legend Ken Shamrock, but I really like this one because I think it was really emotionally driven in terms of kind of like the impact that she had on TNA and Impact. The Knockouts division as a whole was huge.
Definitely.
Her contribution was massive, and the fact that Gail Kim again kind of puts down to her almost, being a Hall of Famer as well, down to sort of kind of like that feud. It all sort of kind of got ignited by that feud that she had with Keir Stevens, obviously Awesome Kong. I think it was lovely to see as well. So you're right. I think it was a lovely moment. It was really good.
Yeah.
So once that was all done, we then got the DMC multi-person match to determine the first ever DMC champion. And that was John Schuyler, Crazy Steve, Falaba versus Madison Rain, Chelsea Green versus Jordan Grace. Now, I thought this match was actually really well put together. I like the way that they sort of kind of it had like a almost like a comedic element to it, and those moments were really good. But there was also those sort of kind of like, I mean, the bit where Jordan Grace is kind of like matching up with Falaba, and she puts him down with a shoulder barge was absolutely fantastic. And because that looked, I mean, he sold that so well as well. I thought that was a really, really cool moment. I mean, obviously, we know that Jordan Grace eventually pins John Schuyler to become the very first DMC champion. And, fair play. For me, very, very good choice to be that first champion. What were your thoughts on this match? And of course, Jordan Grace taking the championship, Steve?
Yeah, as you say, fantastic match. Everyone got a moment to shine in this match. There was times where I think we all felt Jordan would be maybe the favorite to win, but there was times in the match where you felt maybe it would go a different direction, which is good booking on Impact's part. And for me, I find it interesting that Schuyler took the pin, because I would love to see a one-on-one match between them two.
Well, maybe that could lead to it, because he was the one that got pinned. You never know. What about you, Joe? What did you think on this?
Yeah, it was very, very unpredictable. Jordan Grace or Crazy Steve were pretty much our favourites to be the one to take him the title. And when Tennille Dashwood was removed, I thought Madison Rain might be the one to upset the apple cart and possibly win the belt as the match was going on. So, but the offense from everybody was brilliant. Falaba getting everyone stuck into the corner and squashing them all was hilarious. And Madison Rain's upside down and took the worst of it all.
Yeah.
It was a solid match, a nice way to kick off everything. And I'm happy Jordan Grace won, because I wasn't wrong on who was going to pick up. I had 50-50 on Crazy Steve and Jordan Grace, so I was half right on who'd win.
Oh, well, now I heard a rumor earlier on today that they're putting the DMC, the gold, the metal, they're putting it onto a white strap for Jordan apparently, but we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah. And then as well that I didn't even think of prior to this, that she is now a Triple Crown winner, which
of course.
Yes, in my head before she mentioned it, but yeah,
exactly, amazing. The very first knockout to be a Triple Crown winner. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And as Gary's mentioned there, it's really good. It was really nice to see that Rachel Ellering was so excited as well for her partner to win. I thought that was really good. Okay, so let's get into BFG itself. We get the great build package to lead into BFG, as we always do, giving us a bit of insight into the storylines that we're getting to see come to fruition. We then see Harley Cameron come out onto the entrance ramp, and then basically sing the Inspirations entrance music live. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. I really like that. That was really good, and what a lovely voice too. It's a really, really good voice.
Yes, that is quite the intro.
Exactly, Charles. Exactly. So yeah, it was definitely quite the intro. It was really good. Now that then led into the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, Decay versus the newly signed Inspiration. Actually, this was actually a really good match with lots of back and forth, but eventually the Inspiration hit some double team offense and they pinned Rosemary to become the hashtag and new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Obviously, the Inspiration, Cassie and Jesse. Now, I know Joe has got some beefalo on this, so I'm going to go with Joe first to get his opinion on this match. What beefalo have you got, Joe? What beefalo have you got, friend?
I was really disappointed that JK didn't seem as strong as they had been throughout the they got some good offense, and yes, but they weren't as strong as they have been against everybody else. They seemed to like blatantly take a step back throughout this entire match. So you sort of second guess that they were going to lose this match if you hadn't already predicted they were. And I thought Impact dropping the titles onto the Inspiration so quickly wasn't the right way to go either. But the match itself was entertaining. I'm taking nothing away from the match in general, and how I was just disappointed with the results. All my beef with Bound for Glory isn't on the matches themselves; it's the results of the matches. I'll point that out now, and it's got nothing to do with people not turning up or people who were expected to not turn up. I'm completely satisfied that they didn't turn up because it put more, like you guys said earlier, it put more emphasis on the roster itself and who Impact are actually working with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Anna says she had beefalo with this result too. So sorry, Violet. I keep calling you Anna. Sorry, Violet. It's hard because for some reason when you watch our show, you come up as Anna Reid, but when you're on the review, you come up as Violet. But I don't get it. But anyway, so what about you, Steve? What were your thoughts on this one?
I'm kind of a bit in the middle, really. Like, I'll be honest, I loved this match. This is my first proper time seeing the Inspiration. I've seen bits and pieces of them, and I was laughing my backside off throughout this entire match. I thought this was a match driven more through character work than in-ring work, I felt. And we always talked about when Fire and Flavor were together, their characters jumped off the screen, and I got a real Fire and Flavor vibe from the Inspiration. You know, I felt that they were more a character-driven team than an in-ring team. Some of their in-ring work was really good, and I felt that obviously Decay thrive as characters too. So I thought the character work in this was fantastic, and I thought that is what really moved to the match. My only gripe is that given how heelish and kind of sort of dastardly they came across the Inspiration, they could have cheated to win. You know, Decay didn't have to lose clean. That would have given their characters that level. Okay, this is the type of character we are, and it would have given Decay an out for losing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's funny because I was saying to somebody earlier that I almost feel that when Fire and Flavor ended up winning the tag titles, it was because I'm pretty sure that the Inspiration was available around the time that they were putting the tag team division together, and I honestly feel that when they were doing it, they always had the Inspiration, these two girls, in mind. To basically head up the Knockouts tag division. So it's interesting. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I just don't know. Who knows? But a lot of people were saying like Bill was saying that he thinks that Tenille's absence might have been the reason the Inspiration won, because I'm pretty sure that there was going to be the possibility that the Influence was going to interfere in that match and cause the Influence and cause them to lose. So we would then set up a feud with the Influence. Now, of course, if Tenille's not around for Bound for Glory or the tapings, then obviously they couldn't do the feud with the Influence, which then meant that they had to decide what they were going to do moving forward, and they decided that the Influence was going to win, and then go from there. So that's kind of what I think. I think that makes sense. I think that makes the most sense to me. That's why this ended up the way it did. But all I've got to say is that I think the Inspiration are fantastic. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do moving forward. Don't forget, and I'm a big Decay fan. I'm a massive Rosemary fan, one of my favorite knockouts of all time. So seeing her lose was disappointing, and seeing her get the pin was disappointing. But we just have to go with it. And I'm pretty sure Impact have a plan. So we just have to wait for that plan to unravel itself. But after the match, we then get a backstage interview with Deanna where she claims she will basically break both of Mickie James's arms in the Venus de Milo. So that's interesting. And then we get, obviously, the X Division three-way to determine the new X Division champion between Trey Miguel versus Steve Macklin versus El Phantasmo. Now, my God, what a match this was. All three men delivered an incredible match, from the high-flying of both El Phantasmo, Trey Miguel, to his own hard-hitting display of mayhem from Steve Macklin. There was a couple of spots where I thought literally Macklin had taken Trey and ripped him in half. But certainly with the spot where he literally suicide dives him through the ropes whilst Trey's upside down, was just absolutely insane. But I think this match was definitely a contender for match of the night. And the winner, and new X Division champion, Trey Miguel. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe, as it looks like we've lost Steve?
The X Division title, this stole the whole night. This was faultless, this match. Steve Macklin and Trey Miguel and El Phantasmo absolutely outshone everybody else on the roster tonight than that night. It was just incredible from start to finish. I'm gobsmacked from start to finish, and I'm just so pleased that Trey Miguel won, and I can't believe all the criticism that's come out from him winning that match. It's ridiculous. He was fucking brilliant, and he has been since he's come into Impact Wrestling. And anyone that's denying that is either blind or just incredibly fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I put a tweet out today saying that I just can't believe some of the negativity I've seen. At the end of the day, I most of the negativity that comes out generally for people that don't watch the product on a regular basis, are not necessarily true fans like us, who watch it all the time. It's interesting as well that MSK lost their titles. Like literally like 2 days later. But a lot of people say that that's a punishment for them, publicly, basically, and
yes, supporting Trey. They were supporting Trey.
Yeah,
They even got a picture together, and they've been punished for it. Basically, it's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I really hope that it wasn't anything to do with that, because those boys have been friends all their lives, and all they're doing is supporting each other. And again, that sort of kind of like just cements kind of the whole of the up north mentality, them and us type attitude. It's just ridiculous. They're almost ignoring the impact to exist almost. But there you go. That's the way it is. They're petty. They're ridiculous. Those boys have been friends all their lives. They are the Rascals, regardless of that's it, mate. They're the Rascals, and I don't care, right, what anybody says. But anyway, but I think it was a fantastic victory for Trey, and very, very well deserved. And I hope he gets a decent run. I really do. Now, while Steve's gone, we'll just sort of kind of keep cracking on. I don't know where he's disappeared to, but hopefully he'll be back any minute. So backstage, you then get Mickie James telling Gia Miller that tonight's match will be the toughest challenge to date. She didn't really elaborate too much on it. Just a case of like, if I get, if you want to see hardcore country, here I am, which was pretty cool. So that then moved on to the grudge match of the night, which we had Violent by Design versus Heath, and a question mark partner, hoping it's going to be Rhino, obviously. But it could have been anyone joining Heath for all we knew. But we were hoping it was going to be Rhino. Now, the match bell sounds and we get basically a 2-on-1 assault. Heath gives, as good as he gets to begin with, but eventually the numbers game is just too much for Heath. Out of nowhere, Rhino's music hits and we get run into the ring to join his best friend Heath, eventually defeat VBD. Eric, not happy, as you can imagine, but Heath and Rhino are finally reunited. We get a nice embrace and, Uncle Rhino's back. Yeah, baby.
Uncle Rhino's coming home. Yeah, baby.
Exactly. I think it was great. I actually, for me, this is kind of like the cheesiest match of the night for me because, of what it was about. But I actually really enjoyed it. I thought there's some good storytelling going on. It was great to see Rhino finally reunite with Heath and finally get that victory. And who knows? They're obviously going to be a tag team moving forward. We've seen a promo since where, they talk about their friendship and Rhino's like, it's going to be gore.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Gore. So
badass.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see where this one goes. What were your thoughts on the match and where do you think this is going to lead, Joe?
Part of me was hoping that if there was going to be a guest appearance, it would have been in this match, and then Rhino would come out later on in the match to replace them. But this match, it went as expected. We were going to see Heath and Rhino come back together 1 year on from when Rhino actually won Heath the contract at Impact Wrestling to begin with. So it was a nice, good moment for the whole night and for the whole year. On top of the match, on top of the induction of Awesome Kong going into the Hall of Fame, it was a good match. It was we got to see a lot from Heath in the entire match. Obviously, being 2-on-1, you got to see he's how in shape he is and how much he's bulked up since he made his first appearance at Impact Wrestling. So you can tell he's put the work in and he's definitely is fighting fit to go out and kick some ass this time around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do I see him as future tag team champions? Yeah, I do. But it depends if the Good Brothers are still tag team champions or who has it then. To answer someone's question I can't pronounce his name in the chat.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how it goes. I mean, I think that they could end up as tag team champions. I think it's not going to happen until maybe the middle of next year, but I think it could certainly happen. Be interesting to see that one. And you're right, Mir. Heath used to have a last name, but a billionaire keeps it in the safe. So unfortunately, he's just got to go by Heath now.
He got his entire pitch to Scott Demore on that as well.
Yeah, I know. Really, really funny. Then we get Jordan Grace backstage talking about being the first DMC and Triple Crown knockout in Impact history. Rachel is clearly happy to be a friend, also declaring she is going to win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, just as Moose and Morrissey appear and state that will be impossible with both of them in the match. Well, I mean, what can you say? I guess, you're right. It probably would be quite difficult with those guys in the match, as especially when you're the size of some of the ladies in the match. So, but we then get, as you say, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. We knew that Chris Saban was coming in at number 1. We did not expect our first surprise of Rocky Romero to be number 2. As he came out to chant some Rocky. This really got.
Yeah, partly was thinking, is Vince McMahon going to start blocking out the audio for this now?
Yes.
Try and get an injunction to stop the fans from chanting Rocky.
Yeah,
Rocky,
you never. I think the crowd really got going. They really got into it. I think they were really pleased to see him, which was really good. But we then get Madman Fulton entering at number 3. Rohit Raju enters at 4. Tasha Steele's then at 5. Rohit eliminates Rocky Romero. Rachel Ellering then enters at 6, and Fulton gets eliminated. Savannah Evans enters at 7. Johnny Swinger enters at 8. Ellering and Evans are eliminated. In another surprise, legend turns up, and that was Melina at number 9, which is really nice to see her. Obviously, it had been rumored earlier in the day that she was in Vegas, so that was good. Then we got the infamous WCW. The Demon enters at number 10, to the delight of swingers desperate for Gene Simmons' autograph, to then get eliminated once he'd signed by the Demon himself. Brian Myers enters at 11. Matt Cardona enters at 12. Laredo Kid enters at 13. Melina ducks Tasha, sending her to the outside for elimination. Myers then immediately eliminates Melina. Real shame. Sam Beale then enters at number 14 and starts listening to Myers for some reason, as he's not part of the learning tree anymore, which is a bit weird. Then we get Rich Swann entering at 15. And Myers turns his back on Beale and pays for it as Beale eliminates him. Great moment. That was a really, really good moment. I think we talked about that on the preview, didn't we? Where we were saying, like, how cool would it be if Sam was the one to eliminate Myers? And he did. And of course, also, as we find out later, that's potentially setting up a feud for Sam and Myers moving forward, the learning tree moving forward. So that's pretty good. And then gets Rich Swann enters at number 15. Which is interesting. Myers turns his back. Oh, we've got that one. Sorry. Ace Austin then enters at 16 and eliminates the Demon. Moose enters at 17. Moose eliminates Bill by powerbombing him over the top rope to the floor. Then we get Eddie Edwards entering at 18. Then we get Moose powerbombing Eddie on the apron. And then Alicia Edwards enters, the little pit bull herself. Alicia enters at number 19. We then get, which I think was a quite a nice feel-good moment, Eddie and Alicia delivering double team assault to Moose with a pair of kendo sticks. So we had Kenny and Kendra giving it big style to Moose, which I thought was really good. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, we got to see what happens when you piss off a married couple.
That's for sure. I thought this was a really, really good moment in the match. I really enjoyed that. We then get W. Morrissey as the final entrant at number 20. Morrissey quickly eliminates Alicia. Morrissey then eliminates Eddie with a big boot. We never saw that bad boy coming. It looks like Steve's having a few issues there. Come back soon, buddy. We get Morrissey appears to be working together, obviously, and then they eliminate Rohit. We get Saban eliminates Ace. Fulton illegally re-enters the match and assaults Saban from behind, which I thought was, that was a strange one as well. But obviously, it adds to the, the whole storytelling of the match, which was good. So we get Moose and Morrissey then dump an unconscious Saban over the top so obviously for him to be eliminated, and then we're down to the final four of Moose, Morrissey, Rich Swann, and Cardona. Moose turns on his ally, totally expected, eliminated both Morrissey and Swann simultaneously, which was interesting. Then we get Moose and Cardona, and the final two in the match. At this point, I actually thought, is Cardona going to win this? Because he had been spouting off, that he was going for the world title and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh man, is Cardona going to actually win this right in the last minute? But anyway, so we then get, obviously, the match ended by pinfall or submission. Cardona crashes and burns with radio silence. Moose capitalizes with a spear to win the Cool Shot trophy. That was pretty much it. Moose then wins a Cool Shot trophy, and that was that. I thought this was a fun Cool Shot gauntlet. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot to it. It went on for a good length of time. It was interesting seeing. It was great to see Rocky Romero turn up in this. There was a nice surprise there. Obviously, Melina turned up as well, which was really cool. And then we had the Demon from WCW days. I mean, I don't think anyone's seen this guy for at least 10, 11 years. But nobody expected it. So that was a surprise, right?
Yeah,
no matter that was a surprise.
I never even heard him before. I heard the name before, but I had no idea which company he worked for. So I thought it was ECW, not WCW. But so when you come out and just see Johnny Swinger's reaction, You knew there was
That
a
was
history.
funny.
There was a history between the two of them. Obviously, they've worked for the same company at some point, and it was just great. Johnny Swinger thinking this is Gene Simmons, and the way
I thought it was good. I thought it was really well done.
Matt Striker's reaction to it all was hilarious as well. He's pissing himself laughing at Johnny Swinger, and the match itself was really good. Like you said, it wasn't too long. It was really, really to and fro, especially towards the end. I was so gutted for Ace Austin getting eliminated. I really was hoping he'd go right through to the last two or three rather than being eliminated as early as he was.
Exactly. I think the main thing about this was it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Like it was unpredictable, and I was entertained the whole way through. I couldn't wait to see who was going to come out next, and it was really good. I loved the double teaming when Alicia and Eddie were together with Kendra and Kenny. I thought that was really cool. It was just some really good moments. Really enjoyed it. Looks like Steve's having some serious problems. It's a real shame because he's producing the show today, so I really hope he gets back in. Otherwise, we're not going to have anybody to stop us. We'll just have to keep going all night. Anyway. Then we move on. We've got the Impact World Tag Team Championship. So we've got the Good Brothers, Doc Garza versus Finjuice versus the Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Hikuleo. Now this match definitely over-delivered. We got some incredible back and forth from all three teams. The Bullet Club looked great as a team, and Finjuice looked every bit former champions for me. But in the end, the Good Brothers took advantage of a great top rope splash from Juice onto Bay to snatch a victory, pinning Bay 1-2-3 to retain the Impact Tag Team titles. I don't think anyone was expecting this. I think everyone was expecting possibly the Bullet Club to win this. So interestingly enough, the fact that the Good Brothers retained again was a surprise to most people, in my opinion. What were your thoughts on this match, Joe?
This is the Good Brothers. I don't think they delivered enough again in this match. This is another match they've had that I've been really underwhelmed with their performance in, which made the whole match pretty dissatisfying. I really was hoping that we get Finjuice or the Bullet Club to win because they busted their asses in this match. Although the way the Good Brothers got the victory was really, 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 really well put together and really cleverly thought out. We didn't get a predictable magic killer, and that's the end of the match. We actually got to see that yes, Carlson is a very, very technical wrestler and a very, very cerebral wrestler. The way he tagged himself in and got the pinfall that way was brilliant.
He's smart. He's a smart wrestler, and I think you're right. The way that they sort of kind of like set it up was top notch. Yeah,
I was hoping for a bit more from the Good Brothers. We got a good standoff between Hikuleo and Scott Gallows early in the match, but it was mostly Finjuice versus the Bullet Club. So I'm hoping we see the Good Brothers take both teams on one-on-one now, and we see just how good the Good Brothers really are, and then we see where it goes from there.
I'm just going to bring something up there. We've got a couple of people making some comments with regards to the Good Brothers. I agree, Mir. I think Good Brothers versus GOD on Impact Wrestling would be a great match to watch, and I'm sure that's going to happen fairly soon. Luke's mentioning that Good Brothers are boring as hell. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that they're very entertaining in terms of their characterization. They can sometimes be a bit boring in the ring, but I get that. But they're very good. Hello, Hakeem. Real nice to see you. Thanks for joining us, brother. And it's good to see Gary as well in there in the house. I did notice you popping earlier, mate. And sorry I didn't mention it. We were sort of kind of in the throes of talking about something, and then the moment had passed. But so nice to see you, everybody turning out for us today. Really nice. Interesting. It's interesting that they sort of do retain. Like I said, we all thought that the Good Brothers, I think, was going to. That the Bullet Club was going to win this. Especially with the run that Bay's having at the moment, he was great. So there's a lot going on. Chris, we'll get to that in a bit, fella. We'll get to that in a bit. So we then get a Minoru Suzuki is coming soon to Impact Wrestling vignette, which is great. And of course, letting us know that he was going to be at the tape-ins over the following couple of days, which is good. We then get Gia Miller backstage with Christian Cage. He states he's not ready to pass the torch just yet. So that was a cool one to see. We definitely need our producer back, Gary. That's for sure. God knows where he is. Fingers crossed he'll be back soon. Otherwise, this is going to keep going and going. And people, they will laugh, and they will laugh, and we'll still be here with people laughing. So I hope he turns up again in a minute. But anyway, we then have the Knockouts Championship match. That's Deonna Purrazzo versus Hardcore Country, Mickie James, which is cool. Now, all I've written here on my notes is, wow, this match had it all. Inside, outside the ring, both ladies getting in some great offense right from the start. It was just proper to and fro stuff. It was a really good match. Deonna getting desperate to finish Mickie, trying to introduce a chair, but the referee's having none of that. Eventually Mickie hits the DDT to get the win over Deonna. For me, a win that probably no one saw coming. I don't think anybody expected Mickie James to win this match. We thought it was going to be another one on the legacy of Deonna Purrazzo moving forward, legend killer and all that kind of stuff. But Hardcore Country is the champ. What were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, this is another one where the as awesome as the match was and as great as the match was, the result really, really pissed me off because this is one of the first title matches Deonna Purrazzo's had that I was so entertained from start to finish by everything she's done. It wasn't repetitive. She wasn't like she's got the upper hand from the start and she's getting battered from the start and she just does one quick move to turn everything around, like we've seen with her versus Rosemary, Su Yung, Taya Valkyrie, and ODB. This one, they both went off all guns blazing, and it didn't falter either of them. So it was so. I either didn't want the match to end, or I was hoping that Deonna Purrazzo would win, so we'd see her versus Mercedes Martinez, and then Mickie James again, probably at like Final Resolution or something like that.
Yeah.
But the way I see it going now, we're either going to see the Knockouts Championship jump from Mickie James to Mercedes Martinez to Tasha Steelz back to Deonna Purrazzo come next year, or Mickie James is going to have a dominant run as champion through to Rebellion, and then we'll probably see it go to Tasha Steelz then. But I think next time Deonna Purrazzo is going to get the Knockouts title, it will be Slammiversary or Bound for Glory, because Bound for Glory has been two losses now for Deonna Purrazzo. So next year she'll be breaking the curse in Bound for Glory.
You never know. You might be right. Let's hope so. Obviously, the Mickie James winning is interesting. We know that Mickey's actually on the roster page, so she's clearly signed for a period of time, which is great to see as well. I think possibly you're right, Violet. I think they probably want to preserve the Taya's record, so felt that that it was time for Deonna to lose. That doesn't mean to say she's not going to win it back. But yeah, I mean, we've got some interesting stuff moving forward. Where is this going to go? Where is this going to lead? We already know that Mickie and Deonna do not like each other. That's for sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really, really good match, regardless of result. I'd love to have seen Deonna win, but I was also happy that Mickie won as well, because I'm one of the ones that are extremely pleased to see her back.
I'm really delighted. I'm excited to see Mickie James back, and she did a fantastic job.
She ain't lost a step. I
was just so hyped up for Deonna Purrazzo's performance in the match, and given all the recent interview and everything we had with her, so I'm backing her all the way. Huge fanboy moment, and then it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Every time I'm backing someone, they lose.
Stop! It's the Joker curse.
Although
you don't need this.
Jordan Grace was a 50-50 choice. Heath was a 50-50 choice in his match against Violent by Design, and I had Ace Austin hopefully winning the gauntlet, and that didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped.
Not doing well, mate. You're not doing well. But anyway, we then get a video package informing us that Hard to Kill on January the 8th will be in Dallas, Texas, but no venue's been announced quite yet. I mean, the thoughts are that they've been to the bomb factory, so and obviously so they know it fairly well. It's probably about the right size venue for what for the place it impacts at the moment. As I like to say, we've used it before, so it's sort of one of those. I think it holds about 2,000, something like that. So that's a reasonable. So it's a jump. It's a jump. If they're going to be looking at doing TV tapings there as well, fair play. It's a jump in numbers. It's quite hard to fill when you're doing TV tapings as well. So it's a step forward in the right direction, and possibly a chance as well. So who knows? What are your thoughts on it being in Texas, Joe?
Oh, if they get a good audience in Texas, and they get good numbers in Texas on TV and everything, so it's gonna be good for them to go back to Texas. And we might even see something big with like Jordan Grace, home state there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, totally. So what's Hakeem saying there? With how Bison is able to get people for interviews, maybe TNI will have Suzuki as a special guest for one of the reviews. Who knows? Hakeem? I might send him a message. I don't even know if the guy. I mean, does he speak English? I don't think I've actually ever seen him speak. So who knows? Maybe I could drop a few emails to see what happens. No promises, though, Hakeem. No promises. Never promise. I always say that. Don't if you don't promise, then you can always over deliver. That's the key. That's the key to it. But yeah, no, I'm interested to see where it goes. I think it will be the bomb factory, and I'm looking forward to where we get with that one. So I've just been talking to Steve. He's trying his best. Internet is playing up. So he's doing his best. And apparently Trent's going to be joining us in a bit as well. So Trent can help us out maybe.
Trent to the rescue.
Trent to the rescue. It'd be great to see Trent on the show. We haven't seen him for a long time, have we?
No, got a birthday surprise for him too. Got to see him for his birthday.
That's true. Yeah, happy birthday. I could do it in sort of kind of Marilyn Monroe style.
Yeah,
maybe we could do that for him. That'd be really cool. Anyway, we then head into the main event, which is obviously the Impact World Championship match. We've got Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage. And what we get, for me, is a display of fantastic wrestling from top rope to mat wrestling. This match had everything. Now, eventually, to several near falls, Josh obviously locks into the ankle up, steps onto Cage's hand to prevent him from countering, and obviously he gets a submission. We get a Christian Cage tapping out. Now, that is pretty cool. We then obviously get the feel-good moment with Josh Alexander winning the our new Impact World Champion, which was absolutely fantastic. Sorry, excuse me. Josh is then obviously given the belt. We then get the feel-good moment as his wife Jade and son Jet enter the ring with an emotional celebration, which I thought was absolutely lovely. As we all know, Jade friend of TNI, and of course Jet has appeared on TNI-UK, which was which obviously is a very special moment for us here, definitely. But anyway, so that all goes on. We get emotional, nice emotional sort of kind of celebration. Moose then appears in the ring, literally from nowhere. I got no idea where he came from. He then calls his shot, and basically, with his wife and son scared in the corner, Josh turns around to get a spear out of his boots, basically, and then Moose covers him 1, 2, 3, and we get a new Impact World Champion, Moose. And of course, Moose stands tall as BFG goes off the air. What an ending. I mean, nobody expected that.
He stole my plan for Ace Austin.
I mean, all of the time, everyone's been calling for Moose to be world champion.
Yeah.
Poor Josh. I mean, I'm a massive Josh Alexander fan. I totally get that Moose, being world champion is good, and he totally deserves it for all the hard work that he's put in over the last sort of kind of 4 or 5 years of being with Impact. But bottom line is this: Moose is now the Impact champion. And I'm pretty sure Josh Alexander is not going to be too happy about it, and is going to be, getting his revenge at some point. I'm sure this is not, I'm sure Josh will be a 2-time Impact knockout world champion at some point. What were your thoughts on the match? First off, Joe, and basically the way it all sort of kind of ended.
The match was incredible. I was really surprised that Christian tapped out. I'm not sure if I've ever seen him submit to anyone before, but looking back at Christian's career, the majority of matches I can remember are tag team matches, but then my memory's not 100%. So his singles career is a bit of a blur to me, which is a bit of a shame because he's awesome. He proved that he's not lost a step. Josh Alexander was faultless in the main event, as you'd expect. It didn't have deliver as well as the X Division title match did for me, but I was still really excited to see the match. I was impressed with everything. Josh Alexander picking up the win. The title's finally coming home to Impact Wrestling, regardless of what's happening next. So we know now that officially AEW and Impact Wrestling relationship is supposedly over, done and dusted. And then Moose comes out and it's like he's been watching everything we've been talking about the past few weeks, taking my plan for Ace Austin, and turned it into his own. I don't think we've seen anybody win the quarter shot gauntlet or if it was like the Feast of Fire briefcase for the world title. We've never seen someone win it and then cash in on the same night. Or if we have, I think the last person to do that was Drew Galloway. So we've not seen that for at least 5-6 years. And he does it, and nobody was expecting it. Even I wasn't expecting it. I was pleased to see Moose win the title, but I was so angry that Josh Alexander had to take the fall for it. So this is it's played right into Moose's hands perfectly, and Josh, even Sami Callihan was angry at Moose, and Sami Callihan's like the biggest anti-hero of the whole of Impact Wrestling roster. He never really shows any moral support for anybody, but he was really, really fucking angry that Moose had done this.
It was crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy way to end the pay-per-view. Armin, it was a slip of the tongue, mate. Get over it. So it was kind of, it's just. I think it was just a crazy way to end the pay-per-view. Nobody was. I mean, you could say there's people that are going, "Oh, I knew when he won the gauntlet, there was a possibility." Yeah, well, of course, there's a possibility when he was going to call his shot. Of course, there was. But whether you thought it was actually going to happen is another matter. And I have to be honest, I thought they were going to go for the feel-good moment at Bound for Glory with Josh winning and. All the hype with his wife being there and Jet being there and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, I got to be honest, Jade and Jet sold it beautifully. Like they looked like they were absolutely shitting themselves when they were in the corner when Moose came out, So, it's interesting. But Moose is a nasty bastard. Let's face the facts. The dude he's got a mean streak. He's wide as the Grand Canyon. I'm pretty sure that, there's gonna be some interesting stuff moving forward because Josh ain't gonna sit. He's not gonna lay down for this. He's not gonna lay down for this. I think Josh is gonna be well in the hunt to we're gonna get a serious feud between Josh and Moose in the coming weeks.
So Rebellion are gonna be really, really pay-per-views to keep your eyes on now.
Yes. He's just so heel. He's just such a heel. I mean, the heat Moose got. When obviously he did what he did at the moment he did it, with all the feel good moment going on at the time, was crazy. But it's great to see Moose is doing really well. It's really weird because he's a heel, proper heel, getting proper heat, but it's really hard not to root for him. Do you know what I mean? Like you want him to do well because he's worked so hard. He's had so many opportunities, He's just not quite done it, and then all of a sudden, he's got it. He's done it. He's now.
The only title he's had under his belt is now obsolete. So, and the other title he's had under his belt was scrapped. So, So it's like what Moose has had in the past has eventually been deleted.
Yeah, he's been delete. Yeah.
So
Fair dues.
you can sense Moose's aggression there, and like you said, he's a heel, but you want him to succeed. He's like Sammy Callahan. He's a heel, but you wanted him to win that world title when Brian Cage was champion, and you wanted him to get it back off of Tessa Blanchard when she had it, because Sammy Callahan just deserved it so much.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where Josh Alexander and Moose goes, and it's going to be one of the best rivalries that Impact's put together for a while.
I totally agree. Do you know what? I'm just literally having a quick look to see if they've released anything with regards to the BTI match, because as of currently at the moment, I don't think they have. I don't think we've got a BTI match. Is anyone in the chat aware if we've got a BTI match? So we're thinking that it could be Beal versus
VSK.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Hang on a second. Looks like Trent's in the background. He's more than welcome to jump in if he wants to at some point. So it's good to see Trent's in the background. We just got to give him a heads up. So we think that's what the match is going to be.
Ahmed's got a great suggestion here. We got Jet Alexander versus Moose.
There you go, Jet Alexander versus Moose.
He'd wipe Moose in 5 seconds.
He would absolutely destroy him. I think he would literally, he would spear him out of his boots. That's what he would do. But there you go. So yeah, I think it's going to be Sam Beal versus VSK. Looks like Mir, obviously. Is that real, Mir, or are you agreeing with us? I just haven't seen it announced. So fingers crossed. We think that's what it's going to be, and it'd be good to see Sam win.
Yeah.
If that is the match, I want to see Sam Beal win. Do you, Joe? What do you think?
I do. I was so gutted to see Sam Beal cut from the learning tree. The way he sold that was perfect, and I'm just sat there thinking, Brian Myers, have you no heart? So Sam Beal deserves the win. The way he eliminated Brian Myers in the gauntlet was awesome. I was like the vindication we wanted to see. Now we want to see it carry forward.
Yeah. Actually, that's interesting. We talk about Jet versus Joss. Could you imagine, like, literally how much heat Moose would get if he was to, literally, I don't know, power bomb Jet or something? Just like, could you imagine? Could you imagine that? That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy.
It would be like running over Little Richie all over again.
Oh, mate, yeah, it would. Just insane, just absolutely insane. Be interesting to see where that one pans out. And I really hope that if it is the match, then I hope that Sam comes out the victor in that one. I want to see Mr. Soul Glow. Has everyone seen that? Does everyone remember Coming to America? Soul Glow. We all know that he's perfection, but go and check out Soul Glow, because he always reminds me of Soul Glow as well. So anyway, moving on into the advertised for Impact Wrestling matches. Now this is going to be a cracker. If you're a Knockouts fan, this is going to be a cracker. I'm saying Tasha Steelz versus Rachel Ellering. I think this is going to be a great match. I want to see Rachel win, but I know a lot of you guys would love to see Tasha Steelz win. What are your thoughts on the way this one's going to go, Joe? What do you think?
I think
Oh, baby!
I reckon could be an oh baby moment.
Tasha Steelz is clearly being built up to be the next benchmark for the Knockouts division. So I think she's going to probably get the win over Rachel Ellering. Although I personally would like to see Rachel Ellering get the win, because she's lost the last singles match she's been in already. So it would just be nice to see that rivalry build up between Jordan Grace and Tasha Steelz and Rachel Ellering and Savannah Evans, just to build that rivalry a bit more while Deanna Prato tries to figure out what the hell she's going to do next. So, but I think Tasha Steelz is going to win. They're going to push her forward as a singles competitor with Savannah Evans by her side.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that's probably the case, even though no matter how much I want to see the Queen of Smile style get a win, I think you're right. I think it's going to be Tasha's going to do whatever it takes to get the win over Rachel on this one. Real shame. Sorry, can I just clarify, Gary? I know nothing's been announced as of yet. I think we're just sort of kind of speculating based on some of the information that's been flying around that it could possibly be Sam Beale versus VSK, but we just have to wait and see. We then have advertised new Knockouts champion Mickie James addressing the Impact Zone. Now, we all know that this ain't going to go well for anybody, but we get that. That's the thing, you see. No matter what happens, right, we are going to get hardcore country, and that's all we need. Right, that's all we need. We just need hardcore country, don't we? And as long as we've got that, then at the end of the day, we're all going to be happy. So, but I don't think this is going to end well. I'm sure Matthew Raybolt and Deanna Praza are obviously going to get involved in this segment, where Deanna's obviously not going to be very happy. But what do you think? What do you think, Joe?
I'm looking forward to see what Mickie James has to say, and I'm obviously looking forward to Deanna Praza trying to get some retribution or some revenge. But we know Scott D'Amore's going to probably. This is where we might see. We might even see Masha Samovich make her proper appearance on Impact Wrestling outside Knockouts Knockdown. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out to back up Mickie James, because we know Deanna Praza and Matthew Raybolt are going to come in and unleash hell. So who's going to have Mickie James's back?
Let's just hope it's not her husband.
Oh no, let's hope that's not him.
Because we don't want to be watching grass grow, do we? Or paint drying. We want to. We don't want
GFW back.
No, we don't. We don't want none of that crap. Totally. Okay, Mir, thank you. So it's the match is Sam Beale versus VSK. It's being advertised on the Impact Wrestling website by the looks of it. So good. Looks like that's what it's going to be. So we'll look forward to that. We then have also advertised Joe Doring, obviously of VBD, versus Heath, with obviously Rhino in his corner. I mean, we said this before. A lot of people don't realize, how big Heath is. Now, if you watch the match on the weekend, but him and Joe are about the same sort of size, really. There's not much difference in size between the pair of them. So this is a big hoss match. Yeah. I think this is going to get real personal. We're just going to end up in an all-out brawl, I think. I don't think we're going to get a winner. What do you think?
Eric Young is going to get involved in this match without a doubt, and it's going to break down into something, possibly even break down to become a tag team match. Then to just even the yards and have to have Eric Young outside the ring. But it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to just seeing Heath back in the ring. I've had his back since I found out he got injured, and he's been really, really kind to getting back to me. So I'm cheering for my man Heath all the way. Oh baby!
I thought you might be. Because, to be fair, he used to have a last name, but unfortunately, a billionaire keeps it locked up in a safe. So
you don't like me cheering for Heath, do you, Sammy?
I used to have a last name, but now a billionaire keeps it in a safe.
Exactly, Heath. Exactly that. So I think this is going to be a real good match. It's going to be nice. It's nice seeing Heath in a singles match. I think it's good to see him back, and obviously to full health. So that's really good. We then have Ace Austin versus Chris Saban advertised. Now, this is a first time ever match, I believe. I don't recall this match happening before. So
it's not happened before, no. So this is going to be really interesting.
So this is great. This is a brand spanking new match that we've not seen. So I think this is going to be a great match. I mean, you've got Chris Saban, who is just fast and athletic and high flying, against Ace Austin, who is exactly the same. And we have said in the past many times that if you were going to compare Ace Austin to any of TNA past, some people have liked him to AJ Styles, but I think he's more of a Chris Saban. To me, I think he's more of a Chris Saban. What are your thoughts on this, Joe? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm really excited to see this. I'm looking forward to seeing Ace Austin get some payback for his match at Bound for Glory. He's had such a good momentum all year, even after losing the X Division title. So it's good to see Ace Austin still keeping relevant and still keeping some momentum, and hopefully still in the world title hunt next year. I can see him maybe going for the X Division title again, but he doesn't really need to now. He's already established he wants to be the youngest world champion, so we could even see him jumping between Moose and Josh Alexander and still manage to catch that before in like February or April or something like that. So he's got a little while yet.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And interesting, Armin. Yeah, AJ Styles capability, but Michael Shane persona. Interesting. Yeah, you're not far wrong. I kind of see what you're saying. Definitely. I guess what I'm saying is, like, in terms of the way that they're sort of kind of, I don't want to say the word grooming, that's not right. The way that they're building Ace Austin is very similar to the way that they built Chris Saban as well. But no, I get what you're saying, definitely. One thing I know for sure is that this is going to be one hell of a match. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it.
Oh, take my money. Take my money on this match already. I want to build a time machine, travel to there now and watch it.
I agree. Now, the next match we've got advertised, we sort of kind of touched on it a little bit earlier with the news that Rocky Romero called out Trey. It was then announced a little bit later that Trey Miguel versus Rocky Romero will be on tomorrow night's show for the X Division title. Now, I'm assuming this is your main event.
I look like a young boy to you?
He definitely don't look like a young boy anymore. Not with that belt around his waist, that's for sure. Now, I think this is going to be a great match. I mean, we all know that Rocky is a fantastic in-ring general. He's a great performer. So, you know, and he's got so much experience. I think sticking him in with Trey is going to be an absolute cracker of a match. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm pleased to see that we're going to get more. We're going to see more of Rocky Romero on Impact. So, what are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I'm so hyped. I'm looking forward to seeing Trey establish, make his first big statement as X Division champion. You know, Josh Alexander reinvented the X Division type championship and division itself. Now I need to Trent and I need to Trey Miguel. I got getting Trent and Trey mixed up. Now it's time.
I get you from me in here. I guess I'll take that as a sign. Then Joe, I'll just jump in.
There he is. The legend.
Now it's time to see Trey Miguel reinvent the X Division. See if he can outdo what Josh Alexander did, which is quite a hard task for anybody. But Trey Miguel is going to really do an awesome job as X Division champion.
Did you guys see the photo? Trey posted a photo on FaceTime with his belt, and then the Rascals. I'm not gonna call them MSK. The Rascals. Yeah, with their tag belts, and it was pretty. I mean, to me, that's a cool little moment because they are best friends, and that's like a moment they all achieved their goal, right? And I think Trey, to me, Trey was a big one because he was so lost for so long, and him coming back. I think he was lost even prior to this little run here because he came back and they kind of had him in a bunch of things and they would stop him a lot. This was a nice little, they got him back on track with the X Division thing here. I think if they let him go for a while with this run, I think you're in for a good stretch.
Definitely.
I agree. I think they need to give him some time. And if you're putting him in with people like Rocky Romero, then we're always going to be in for some good matches. I definitely. And again, you know, the likelihood of him losing to Rocky is quite slim. So I'm happy with that.
Thank you all for the birthday messages in the chat, by the way. I appreciate all that. What
happened no worries.
Twitch? I saw that there's an issue with Twitch going on. I tried fixing it, but we're not broadcasting the Twitch right now for some reason.
No, we don't know. It's for some reason it doesn't seem to want to play the shows. It doesn't seem to want to play us.
It's been happening with other streamers too. I know there's been glitches with Twitch going on for the past couple of weeks, but it said something here about fixing the title. I even tried editing it while you guys were on the air. I couldn't get it to broadcast out. So
No, strange. We don't know what's going on with that. We don't know what's going on with that at all. Now, you mentioned your birthday, Trent. Now, of course, you are now what, 52? Was it?
Just a day over 50, 51. Yes, into 50.
And obviously you've made sure that you've got the Just for Men on your beard and the hair as well. You got to make sure you do that.
I didn't dye the hair. Yes, I did dye the beard though. That's for sure. I didn't dye the hair. I left the grays in the hair. That's for sure.
You're looking good. You're looking good. That's for sure. Now, the thing is, right, is that we've had a bit of a vote, and the vote is that I actually sing in full-on Bison style, happy birthday to you.
Bison, hold on. Before you do that, just know that because Steve is not here, I have the master control that allows me to not only boot you out, but also end the broadcast at the start. I just want to put that out there before you start thinking about singing anything.
Well, I mean, there's lots of ways I could do it. I mean, we could do it in Marilyn Monroe style.
Please,
that might be interesting. See the Bison giving it a bit of Marilyn Monroe stylish. We could do it maybe in just sort of kind of big bad Bison style. I don't know. Let you decide. You give me some kind of idea of what you'd like me to sing.
Let me actually, Joe. Why don't you pick for me, Joe? You know Bison better than I do. I'm gonna go to Joe on this. Joe, if you were to pick for me, and Joe, just before you pick the wrong answer, just remember who took a chance on a young Joker here to put you on the air on TNI. Just remember who was your biggest fan here. Just before you make the wrong decision, just remember who was your biggest fan.
I'm thinking I'd love to know. What a
Sammy Callahan style.
All right, do Sammy Callahan style. All right,
go do Sammy Callahan style.
Howdy. So he started off with a howdy. We're off to a bad start here.
I'm not sure. I can get to a Sammy Callahan style, but I will give it a go.
Can you do a moose? Can you do a moose since he's our world champion now?
No, I can't do a moose. I'm going to try with Sammy. I'll try with Sammy.
Okay, here we go.
The difficulty is the accent, of course, because not only am I trying to get the gruffness, I've got to try and get the accent, which is a bit difficult.
If you do
being extremely, I'm extremely British.
That's true.
So my accent is very British, so it's very hard.
I can't get anymore. At least it's not a snobby accent like mine, and I'm.
Well, a little bit snobby. Right, here we go. Right,
go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. That's more like, actually, that's a bit more like what's his name? The soul singer, the black guy. What was his name? He played the trumpet as well.
Oh, Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. That sounded like Louis Armstrong. Didn't it?
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
We'll go with that.
We need to get Bison.
Okay, to the listeners here, just know that within the span of 30 seconds, we went from I'm going to sing it like Sammy Callahan to I'm going to sing Happy Birthday like Sammy Callahan to I'm going to sing you one line of Happy Birthday like Louis Armstrong.
That too. That's much better. I'm done with that.
Bison saying I sound like Louis Armstrong needs to be the next soundbite.
Louis Armstrong, yeah, you reckon? I think that would be a cool soundbite.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you.
I mean, I've sort of kind of known you. They've got to be getting on for 2 years now.
2 years, yeah.
But only this way. Like we've never actually met in person, have we yet?
You've met Kyle. You haven't met me.
I've met Kyle.
You've been to Chicago. You just have. It was before we knew each other. That was the thing.
That's right. I have been to Chicago a couple of times. Yeah. I also have met Bill, so I know I've met Bill in person, and I've met Kyle in person. I still haven't even met Joe in person.
No. Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? No, have any of you three met? Like Steve met anybody? Steve and Joe hung out?
No, not in person. Not in person.
What's the distance between everybody? Are you guys all three of you far apart?
Yeah, I'm like 3 or 4 hours away from Bison.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, we're not just down the road.
Yeah.
Steve is fairly. I mean, Steve's closer to me. I mean, Steve's probably about 2 hours away, whereas, like I say, Joe's about 4 hours away.
Oh wow!
So yes, so we're not down the road from each other. But I keep saying we need to meet up at a wrestling show or something.
Halfway, take a train halfway, right?
I'm sure we'll probably meet when Impact come to the UK.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to, right? You have to. That's a given. From what I think
that's what will happen.
Gentlemen, from what I hear, 2022 is looking like there's a Union Jack placed over the Impact logo coming up at some point, man. That's what I'm. That's the buzz that's going around. So you guys should be definitely be ready for that.
That's going to be great, and again, that can only help the possibility of getting a proper cable TV deal over here, because it's like I said before, it's same with they've just got the deal with the Russian TV, so they sign a Russian wrestler and they get a Russian commentary team and all this kind of stuff starts happening. If it happens for the UK, you've got to expect to then see at least 2 or 3 UK-based wrestlers turn up on the roster at some point, because again, a UK channel is going to say, well, what UK-based wrestlers have you got on your promotion? They're like, well, currently none.
Right.
So what exactly? So they're going to say, well, okay, it's great that you've got all these American wrestlers, but what is the incentive for the UK guys to tune in and watch it?
True.
Especially from the UK scene. I mean, we've got some great guys on the UK scene at the moment. We spoke to a couple on the show. We had Charles on a couple of weeks ago. We've had Alex Windsor, who only 2 weeks ago beats Jordan Grace.
Right.
And that was a great match. So if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube, guys. Get on YouTube, go and check it out.
I watched it earlier this week. It's a fantastic match, and I'd love to see Alex Windsor on Impact Wrestling.
Really good match.
I got to tell you guys, Mark and I constantly talk about how we are so blown away by what you guys are doing by bringing on the British talent. I think it's phenomenal what you're doing, because it's an untapped scene. It's an unknown scene to the US in a lot of ways. And I love that. Like, we're not limited to just Impact here, right? Like, this is a professional wrestling world that we're living in here, and that's what this podcast exists in. And these are people who you're trying to expose to not only Impact fans, but hey, listen, maybe somebody from Impact sees these people and talks about these people. Never know what can happen. But I love that. I want you to keep doing it, because I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is just to expose some of the UK talents to overseas. Let's face the facts, right? Every wrestler, I know we hate to say it, but every single wrestler that gets into the business generally, their ultimate goal is to be performing in, a big televised promotion. I would say the ultimate obviously being currently the WWE.
Well, that's the default, right? Everybody defaults because of the licensing and the brand that's behind. I mean, I get it, right?
Everybody aspires to that, right?
It's the top.
Everyone aspires. It's the top of the tree. It's the top
right.
of the tree. They're aspiring for that. Now we've got AEW. Now we've got Impact Wrestling. We've also got Ring of Honor. There's also some other big promotions that are starting to build. And even brands like AAW are now really starting to come through and get more exposure. You might not have a TV deal at the moment, but you certainly got a good presence online. Your shows are going up on streaming services.
You look at, for context, right? You look at, sorry to cut you off, but you look at, for context, a company like AAW, who I work for, is on Fight TV. So is all the other companies are on Fight TV. So like we're there. We use talent like Josh Alexander and Rohit and Jake Something and all these big names, like we have all these other Mance Warner, all these guys are on our shows. It's just what separates it today is television, licensing, branding, marketing. That's the big thing. That if you have money to do that stuff, that's the key, right? Who has the most right now is WWE. It just goes WWE, AEW, Impact. That's literally the food chain. It's so easy to see.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then you've got Ring of Honor, MLW, You know, I mean, that's pretty much how it works. Now, for me, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of the guys around the world won't necessarily see some of the great talents that we've got over at the moment. If we can use our little platform here, you know, we do get seen. I mean, we're not getting seen by millions, but we do get seen by thousands of people, and listened to as well by thousands of people all around the world. Now, you know, if we can give these guys just a small little platform and that one person sees them on our show or listens to them on our show and they get that email and they get that message because they saw them on our show, then you just don't know. And to me, that's what it's about. Yes, I love Impact Wrestling. Yes, for me, Impact Wrestling is the brand that I watch religiously every single week. You know, yes, I do keep up to date with bits and bobs that's going on in other companies. Of course I do, but I don't religiously watch them. Right. So where with Impact, I watch everything. There's nothing I don't watch that is Impact related. Okay. So that's why I talk about Impact Wrestling, because it's the brand that I know, right? I know everything, you know, as much as I can about that particular brand. Now, can I just say thank you for the super sticker, Punk? Well done. Punk. Appreciate that, buddy. So for me, that's what it's about. You know, it's about getting that exposure. And I know that, you know, people watch our show. You know, we only had like Big John Burton popped in the chat the other week. You know, and settle out. And that's our show. This on in the US at 12 midday, you know, 1 o'clock. That's when it's being shown.
John Burton, who is a broadcaster in the US, you know, he's all over the radio and television in the US. And for him to pop on, it's an honor, right? He's an Impact broadcaster as well. I think it's an honor. That stuff's cool. We know, I mean, obviously we know that the Impact UK team, you know, it pays attention to this show. Specifically, they work with you guys directly. Bison works with them pretty closely, even one-on-one to line things up. And the US, you know, the US side also watches the show. They're very much in touch. So again, you never know, by bringing on a talent from the professional wrestling world, you never know who's going to get exposure. So why limit yourself? In any case, fans too. Why don't limit yourself to one universe? I mean, there's other wrestlers out there who could potentially be the next star, and the UK scene is so untapped, and I think it got so decimated after the Progress fiasco, after WWE came in and, you know, basically decimated the entire scene.
Yeah,
you guys went so, it was so dormant for almost 2 years, and plus COVID, everything like threw everything off in that scene so badly. And now you have companies like Wrestle Carnival coming in with Gary, and everything's starting to bounce back up. Ring of Honor doing some partnership deals out there. Different independents that are popping up more and more. So I think it's a prime time for you guys to just keep a foot into the scene as being advocates of the scene, you know.
Yes,
and
I agree.
And as well as being Impact centric, but you're like, hey, we are advocates of the UK. We are UK guys of wrestling. We want to promote our scene, but at the same time, we're Impact centric. So
yeah, exactly. No, I think it's great. I think it's great.
I don't want to take too much time for you guys. I want you guys to go knock out the rest of your show. I'm gonna pop back out. I'll let you guys wrap up the rest. Do your finish, but just let me know when you're looking to end, and we'll wrap you up. But Steve had to pop out, so I popped in to produce. But these guys were doing. Everybody in the chat, they have been. We've let them fly. We let them leave the nest. Steve has been producing backstage. A lot of new bites or Steve. He's putting all that stuff in. These guys have been self-sufficient on their own. You know, so. Good stuff. You guys have been doing great. Very proud to see the numbers increasing. You guys are really tapping into a great market with the interviews. I love what you all are doing. The articles that Joe and Steve do. I mean, just awesome stuff. Awesome stuff all around for you guys.
Oh, look at that. That's the boss, everyone. The boss, everyone.
Well, listen, I've been fired. J-Bone's the boss now. So I just.
No, actually, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
No issue. I'm still logged in. J-Bone's
for us, Trent, you'll always be the boss for us.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Big Daddy J-Bone, Papa J-Bone for us.
Just don't tell him I was here, right? He'll be pissed. He doesn't know I'm still logged in. That's all.
No, that's fine.
Fair play. All right, well, we're gonna wrap this one up. And,
I'll pop it. You guys wrap up. Let me know when you're ending, guys. Everybody in the chat, good to see everybody. There was no throwback this week, but I'll be back next week with NWA TNA 90. But join everybody tomorrow on the flagship. So, all right, I'm popping out. You guys take it from here.
Take care. Boys. See you later, buddy. Wow, Trent, everyone. Yeah, nice little run in from the boss. A nice little run. It was lovely to see him. Like I say, talk about his birthday, give him a little Louis Armstrong there, which was pretty cool. So it was really good, really good. And as he said, don't forget to join us for the flagship tomorrow night. Now, please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI Flagship Impact live review directly after the show is aired on YouTube. And Twitch if we can get it working. Also, all TNI shows are available for all of you listen on the go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Where can we find you, Brother Joe?
You can find me on Twitter at Joe-ker empty space, or you can jump onto Facebook, look for hashtag empty space, hashtag the void, or if you want to test your sanity, hashtag daily giggle, and check out with an open mind, and you might just keep your sanity.
You may. I'm just going to quickly mention that obviously Steve's been having issues today, but if you go and check out at Simply Steve on, I think it's Simply Steve something, but I'm not sure. But
Simply Steve 311.
There you go, Simply Steve 311 on Twitter. Make sure you check him out. Like I said, both Joe and Steve do lots of impact-related articles via WrestleBuddy.com. So make sure you check those guys out as well. And please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then don't forget to click subscribe and don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or a smash.
Or scratch the dog's ear.
to never miss any of the TNI UK and US teams' great content each and every week. Okay, so like I said, the other thing, don't forget, if you want to support TNI, head over to the Spreadshirt store, or we've also got the ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Make sure that you go and check out all the merch we've got on there. If you particularly like the Total Nonstop Impact United Kingdom team, the TNI UK team, we've got a brand new logo shirt on there, which is pretty cool. You might like that one. It's like in a skylight blue, really nice. As well as obviously all the other stuff we've got on there. We've got the 3-man booth on there as well. And of course, we've got the US guys who've got their shirts on there, which is definitely worth a purchase. Okay, so with that said, I've been Bison, and there was Steve, but currently that's been the Joker, and this has been episode 54 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
We're